the best unit at 1 copy, right? If you just start the game and you're like, hey Zip, which unit do I go for, right? For 1 copy, how good they will be based on 1 copy performance, Twins is the best. Because Twins, I would say in most Dream Realm bosses, they basically see use even at just 1 copy. Like they're so good that at 1 copy, they basically scales off like multiple different supports that are currently in the meta right now. Because my own free-to-play account right here, as you guys can see, right, we run a 1 copy Twins. And honestly speaking, I've been using Twins on every single Dream Realm boss right here. So they are just that good. So they are very good for a 1 copy usage. So let's say if you are just starting out the game and you're not sure which unit you want to go for, then Twins. Right, if you are building out other characters and you have always wanted to at least get a copy of Twins while building out other characters, then you can use this glorious hero chest to go for that. So that will be my suggestion for the 1 copy usage side. If you are new and you haven't like devout a lot of money or resources to get your units built up, so that's for the 1 copy suggestion. And then for the general utility, right, general utility strongest 3 would be Twins, Fresto, as well as Harak in terms of general usage. I'll say to a certain extent Talin's okay as well, but Talin's a unit which I'll say it's more PvP centric in terms of her overall performance, and I'll explain why later. So why Twins? Why Fresto? Why Harak? Twins is the best unit all around in terms of fitting into almost every single team, into almost every single game content on the support side because of the faction, as well as being the best support in the game. So you basically run Twins on almost every single game mode and team you can think of, and that's why this unit would be the highest priority for you to try to get to at least S+ to max out the stat boost, right? This is very important for the Dream Realm side, where damage, numbers, and whatever buffs you can get to make your carry stronger is the way to go. So that's for Twins, but 1 copy of them, pretty feasible of the ultimate's haste buff itself. Then for Fresto's case, Fresto's the best tank, which also incidentally fits into multiple different teams and multiple different game modes. The only difference between Fresto as well as Twins is that Twins is in every single Dream Realm boss and almost used in every single content, but for Fresto's case, most Dream Realm bosses and most teams. Right, so both of them, they are the best in their position right now, Fresto being the best tank and then Twins being the best support. So for Fresto's case, if you are building up Fresto already, maybe try to build him up to the desired tier. Minimally, I'll say S, so that you can unlock the EX15 upgrade for this ability, for you to be able to get more stats for the HP percentage damage, and also just the ability to revive so that you can synergize Fresto with other units in general. So I'll say S for Fresto if you're building him up already, and then 1 copy of Twins, something like my free-to-play account. Or if you are just like really new to the game, like you maybe play this season, or like you just started this season, then Twins first followed by Fresto, something like this. Then the next most versatile unit will be Harak. So these 3 units, they are versatile because they're used both for your PvE side as well as the PvP side, right? But more PvE because most of the rewards are locked behind PvE contents like Dream Realm, like Battle Drill, like your Guild Supremacy, as well as your AFK stages daily rewards. So for Harak's case, Harak's good for your Dream Realm Endless bosses, not so spectacular pre-Endless, but this unit in the AFK stage pushing, as you go later and later, insanely powerful, because the higher deficit you go, the more damage you will need to bring down the HP of the opponent, and this is where your team might not have the numbers to kill the enemy within the stipulated time. So that's where Harak comes in with the 3rd skill to eat up the enemy if their HP percentage is low enough for you to eat them up. So this will give you an insta kill, and the full duration of an AFK battle, 90 seconds, is more than enough for you to use this skill at least 5 to 6 times, which is in most cases enough to bring down most of the enemies, right? Most of the stages itself. So very, very good for AFK stage in general. So Twins, Fresto, as well as Harak, 3 of the most versatile, highest priority unit to focus on building up. If you are already building up any of them and you want to bring them to their desired tier, I'll say Fresto S. Harak, minimally, I'll say is at least the EX weapon for the stat gain. Like obviously, if you're able to get Harak to S+, this is where you get this energy regen after assisting or defeating 2 units, which allows you to spam your ultimate a lot more, which maximizes the damage for some Dream Realm bosses. But then I think Twins S+ will be of higher priority, because Twins is used in every single boss, right? And this stat boost that Twins is able to provide is able to make your non-celestial Hypogean character pretty strong as well. So that's why in terms of the S+ priority, Elijah over Harak. Harak minimally M+, Fresto minimally S. So you can also bump them up to S+ if you have the resources to pull them to the higher tiers, or even push them to the Paragon tiers if you do intend to run them for the PvP contents. So this will be for the 3 units or the most versatile units. Now for Talin's case, Talin's usable for some Dream Realm bosses, but definitely not the best of the best. I think there's only one boss which Talin is probably really good right now, Plague Creeper. So that is that. You can use Talin for Talessa as well, but like you have better choices that are non-celestial Hypogean. So that's why I won't say that she's PvP centric. Like even for AFK stages, she's not that impactful right now because her damage doesn't scale up to the endless pushing side. So when you have very high HP units, which are very hard to sort of just kill from killing them, lowering their HP, then Talin falls off in terms of performance. But for the PvP side, Talin's in one of the strongest PvP teams, consisting of Tasi as well as Bonnie with the Thunderstrike artifact right now for the Supreme Arena side. So that's that. You're also seeing her a lot with Tasi as well as Bonnie, reportedly being one of the most used trios in the game for PvP related content. So that's for Talin's case. So Talin's probably the highest one if you are considering the PvP side. So we have Danlia, we have Scalita, Barrow, as well as, Dino, Scalita, Barrow, Danlia, as well as Cryo and Atalia, which are all PvP centric. So if you do decide to go for them, you need to build them up. Like one copy of PvP units, right, they don't work. Like unlike the non-PvP characters like Twins, for example, Fresto, to a certain extent, even at the lower copies can still survive because he's pretty tanky. All these other units, Dino, Scalita, Barrow, Dan and Atalia, they're just super frail at one copy, and most of their kit don't work at just one copy. So you probably have to devote a lot of resources into them if you want to build them up, and they are more PvP centric, so do take that into mind. So Atalia's probably the strongest single target celestial right now, but then like I mentioned, if you want to invest in them, you will lock yourself towards more of the PvE contents. So you can use Cryonaya for certain Dream Realm bosses, but it's very niche. Same thing for Atalia. I think for maybe like killing of multiple different enemies, her AoE comes into play and could be really decent there, but generally speaking, they are more PvP centric. Okay, for Reyna's case, I think Reyna's still really good for the PvE side of things. PvP I think is usable, but I don't see a lot of people using Reyna this season, unfortunately. More for the Dream Realm side, mostly for the buffs and debuffs that Reyna can do. So if let's say you are more focused on building up your PvE related units, then after Twins, Fresto and Harak, I'll recommend Reyna for the debuffs to give you that bossing advantage for the Dream Realm side. But right now I'll say he's quite low on the priority because first of all, you need M+ for this unit to be good at bossing, because you're using him mainly for this skill. So you need M+, Mythic Plus for you to get this skill up to unlock that damage boost on the boss itself. So one copy of him is not that good anyway. So those are the different caveats to consider. So at one copy, I think Talin is usable for the revive part of her kit, for you to put her with, for example, Tasi. But for PvP, like I mentioned, one copy is not going to do much. Fresto at one copy is also very frail because like you don't have enough stats to tank that well. But Fresto becomes really, really tanky every tier you increase him up, so he will be able to survive better and do more damage. So that's that. Reyna doesn't work at one copy, Dino doesn't work at one copy, Scalita 2, Barrel done also. Harak might be feasible if you are purely using him for the flash freeze, right, for you to kill the enemy, and if you have ways to keep him alive, I think it's feasible. But same thing as a carry, no stats, pretty useless. Cryonaya, yeah, Cryonaya needs stats because Cryonaya is quite a hyper carry. So technically, I'll say there's only 2 units to a certain extent is usable at one copy, Harak as well as Twins, for their different utility or their buffing roles, provided they're able to survive. So that will be for the Glorious Hero chest. So I hope this symbol breakdown gives you a better idea which unit you want to go for and focus on for your own account itself. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys.